Welcome to another edition of your world's famous podcast, Hanging with the Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest tag team partner ever, Chad Boudreaux. Boudreaux, how the hell are you doing today?
I'm great, man. I just know it's too hot outside, man. Way too damn hot.
So I heard a rumor that you was trying to be Tiger Woods today, but instead you was Tiger Wish he could. Is that accurate? The rumor's accurate going on there?
Yeah, that's 100% accurate.
Yeah. Hey, look, glad you're here. Look, as you can see, I'm dressed a little differently today because I've been waiting for this episode for some time. We have finally managed to get the Hall of Fame referees themselves, Rum Jax from StripeLyfe, on the show. So I got to represent for all the referees and officials out there. They're the second real MVPs in the athletic world. They deal with a lot of crap. We're glad we're out here to get their side of the story as well. But these are two men I've known for a while. Jackson I've known for a very long time. Don't believe everything he said about me when I was a kid, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, since I was a kid. I've known him since I was a sophomore in high school. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a little bit differently. We're going to bring StripeLyfe in right now. We're going to skip the sports news till later. Ladies and gentlemen, Rum Jax, StripeLyfe, welcome to the show. How are we doing, gentlemen?
How's it going, guys? Hey, thanks for having us on board.
Thanks for having us on board, man. Yeah.
Hey,
thanks for coming, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming. Like I said, it's been a long time coming for us. Jackson, like I've said, I've known you for a very, very long time. One of my mentors in life, Rum. I got to know you when I first got down here through Crawford and Brucey, and we clicked very well. And now here we are. We like to let y'all introduce yourselves to the world. Let everybody know who you are and what you're about, real quick.
My name is David Jackson, born and raised Orlando, Florida. Product of the school system, elementary, middle school, high school. Fortunate to play college football at Mars Hill. After that, I've been teaching and coaching and officiating for close to teaching 32 years, officiating for about 25, and it's been a great experience.
And Jax, you opened Cypress, right?
No, I got there probably 3 years after. 3 years after it opened. It's close. It's close. I'm ancient.
You are old.
Yeah, he's definitely old. He don't look it though. He don't look it. Rum?
Black don't crack, man. Isn't that what they say?
What's wrong with you, boy?
I got to put an E on this episode already.
What's wrong with you?
Hey, Mike Rummel. I am a Orlando native for the most part, generic native. I was born in Pennsylvania, but I've been down here my whole life. Product of Orange County Public School System. West Orange Warrior graduate, class of 99. Started coaching football shortly after that at Cypress Creek. That's where me and Jax met, and we've been together pretty much ever since, reffing or coaching. And then I've been an assistant athletic director at Colonial High School, athletic director at University High School, state champion girls and boys weightlifting coach. I've coached track, girls flag football, Metro Conference Coach of the Year. And been doing this for almost 25 years, if I'm not mistaken. They all start to blend together.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, David Jackson, Michael Rummel, better known as StripeLyfe, Rum Jax. Are you okay? You been on the golf course already today, Rum? You're dropping.
No, man. Hey, I look like I'm dressed for the golf course. I went to church this morning and then went to lunch for my dad's birthday, and I'm still dressed kind of up. I would have dressed for if I knew you were wearing stripes, I would have matched you today, man.
Hey, I wanted it to be a surprise. I texted Boudreaux. I was like, bro, you're gonna love this.
I like it, man.
Hey, man, look, I love the officials, man. That I give them shit, but I respect every last one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Rum Jax of StripeLyfe. Hey, we're just gonna go ahead and get in this. We got a good story from you guys, but the first thing I think the listeners are gonna want to know is what is StripeLyfe and how did you start it?
All right, well, I'll take the helm on this. So Jax and I, we've been officiating now. We're also Central Florida Youth Football League officials, and we're in the Hall of Fame for that league. We've been working together for so long. We obviously bust jokes or we got to the point where we started filming little tiny skits, and
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, well, what do we call it? What do we tag it? What do we hashtag it? For all the young folk that use hashtags. So we went with StripeLyfe, and once we kind of got rolling with that, it was every week or every time we stepped on the field, we were going to do a different skit. And we got to the point where we're doing one, and everyone started watching and following us, and sharing our videos, and thought they were hilarious. And then it got to the point where I decided to create a logo, and here we are. Now we're providing officials gear to officials. I just created a new batch of coins, which look absolutely amazing.
Freaking sweet, by the way.
Appreciate it, man. They look really good. They're heavy. They're fantastic. We had so many kids yesterday at the tournament wanting one, and I'm like, you can't get this. But as the kids say, they're tough. They're tough. But referee bags, referee jerseys, we kind of doing a little bit of everything and anything. Basically for officials, by officials, and we're hoping to just continue to grow and expand. What started out basically was kind of as a joke between Jax and I, has become kind of a name brand, and hopefully it's going to be one of those ones that everyone's familiar with at some point here soon.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You guys are doing amazing. I know at the beginning, whenever I first seen the StripeLyfe was with Rum Daddy and Jackson's striping field maintenance and field painting services. Hey, I ain't never seen straighter lines in my life until I got the robot. I'll be the first to tell you, when I paint a field, it's 1st and 10 or 1st and 4, depending on which side of the field you're on, buddy. So I don't know how the hell y'all do it. Y'all can walk straight, have fun with that.
Hey, it really is an art, and I credit and I'm sure Jax does the same thing. Bubba James. I first learned how to line a field, or at least do lines, when I was a high school senior. He was at West Orange my senior year, and that's how me and him our relationship started as a player for him. During PE, he'd bring out a box of Dunkin' Donuts, and
Get them while they're hot, baby. Get them while they're hot.
Hey, that's how you get the fat lineman involved, man.
All the glaze.
You want to eat some glazed donuts? You're gonna paint this line. And luckily for me, I got to work with him for a couple of years and learn how to paint lines. And Jax and I, we Rum Daddy's field striping. Jax helps me out with that and is a part of it as well. Just landed the UCF band, the Marching Knights. So I've got them on contract, and a couple other smaller schools. But very fortunate that some of my side hustles have become sustainable, and it allows me the freedom to not have to be coaching as much as I love coaching, or be an athletic director anymore, because I don't miss any of that headache that y'all call athletic directing. It's gotten crazier and crazier as time's gone on. So
yeah,
I'm fortunate in that regard.
Coach Jackson?
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing I most like about StripeLyfe, it did start off as a joke, and it grew, and it's amazing to me just the feedback that's coming forward. Rummel has a lot of great ideas still left that need to be implemented, and also too, you're really not a coach, I don't think, until you painted the field. Yeah. And now, and look what field painting has become right now. All right, we got involved with a college band right now. People are looking for merchandise regarding StripeLyfe. We give advice. We try to give advice right now. We're going to try to have an advice tour about how to treat officials. What call do you think things should be? Yep. Because right now it is a big deal. Officiating is televised right now. All types of sports. There's reviews on everything, and we want to be at the forefront of all of it. And what's happening too? A lot is expanding right now through flag football. A whole lot. Okay, we're talking about different field dimensions. We're talking about flag football can be 4-man, 5-man, 7-man teams.
Contact, no contact.
You got boys and girls involved in the flag football sport. So, this is going to be a continuous thing. And it's played year round. Yep.
Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. I like I said, man, I've known Jax for a long time. Rum, I've known you since I got back down to Florida. And y'all's story and your the way you go about the business, the way you want to teach people. I mean, obviously being teachers, that helps. But I'm going to ask you, what inspired y'all to get into education and coaching, and then ultimately officiating? What led to y'all getting into that from your story?
Well, Jax, I'll
Well,
let you
well,
go. I'll let you go first, Jax.
all
Because
right, all right. Well, when I first started, I thought I was going to be a marketing, a business executive, all this stuff. But I learned quick that that's not my purpose. When I grew up, coaches had a lot of influence on my life, and I'm not going to lie, it kept me away from negative things. And I figured out as a young adult, I want to try to get the same experience, okay, to young adults. Now, when I came into it, I had high hopes. I thought there's going to be a lot of money here, a lot of money there. There's really not that much money in coaching. What I found out, the main thing that you do get is the satisfaction, the hard work and effort from the kids. Okay. And I realized too, when I wanted to coach, I had to be resourceful regarding caring for the kids. Nowadays there's so many things we're not supposed to do as coaches. Okay.
Mhm.
What blows my mind about coaching right now, and I love it 100%. As a football coach, we're literally teaching our kids to hit the other kid so hard he's going to be unconscious and not want to play anymore. Now that's basically what we're teaching our kids to do, okay? And then do it again and again so they don't want to play anymore. But God forbid we give our kid $10 to go catch the bus. God forbid we give them a pillow to stay on our couch, okay? God forbid we give them a ride home. Then we're in trouble. We're doing this. So, I found out a long time ago, I had to be very resourceful on helping kids get food. I had to be resourceful on trying to get kids home. Of course, we all want to win a state championship. I get it. But right now, I'm finding out that I'm doing a great service as a coach to help these kids through their life. I really want to help them be the best citizens possible. Do I want to win the playoffs? Do I win the championship? Yeah, of course I want to win those. But right now, I think I'm winning at building their confidence and helping them become productive citizens. And right now, I want to coach as long as I can, as long as I'm relevant. And I am an old dog. I'm an old dog, but I am not. Hush up, Rum. I am not scared to learn new tricks. Legit, I'm not. I'm not gonna tell you I'm wrong, but I swear to gosh, I'm not above learning. Not above learning. Yep.
Well, before I get into mine, never stop learning was always Bubba's way to tell me is don't stop learning, never burn a bridge. And these are some of the things that I've taken from Bubba. And, my story on how I got into coaching really comes from Coach James. I was working at UPS, totally miserable, unhappy. Thought I was going to go away to play college football. I didn't. I'm on the truck, an 80-pound box, irregular. Probably explains a lot what's wrong with me. But I had an 80-pound box fall on my head. So
is the box okay?
Yeah, the box is okay. But so I was out on a workers' comp, and I was with my parents at the time. We were going to Circuit City. That dates us a little bit too. Circuit City is like Best Buy, okay? Just so y'all know.
Yeah, you all too.
It's like right in the middle of the Radio Shack and Best
Yeah,
Buy.
no, I'm for all the listeners out there that don't know what a Circuit City is, Jackson. I'm trying to make sure the young folk know what a Circuit City is. Anyways, I'm walking into Circuit City and I see Bubba carrying a VCR. Now, VCR is what now DVD and Blu-ray is, ladies and gentlemen. But so he's carrying a VCR to get fixed because if you know anything about Bubba, after games he would bring the VCR into Ale House or Gators or wherever and plug it in, and we'd watch film as we're enjoying a cold beverage after a game.
Not when.
Anyways, he goes, "What are you doing?" I told him what was going on. He goes, "I always thought you'd have turned out to be a great coach. What about education?" And at the time, I was a student at UCF, and I was studying to be in sports medicine, which I found out very quickly with all the science classes, it wasn't for me. I had a professor at UCF tell me that if she gave me a C, I had to promise her I would never do anything in medicine ever. And I said,
that's a
deal.
good teacher, though.
Yeah, and I said, deal. Okay, we'll do that. So I started substitute teaching and coaching at Cypress Creek, and then I got the pass or in-school suspension job and worked there for 2 years with Bubba, and then I went back home to West Orange where I became the defensive coordinator, and I coached there for years. But honestly, I didn't know coaching was going to be where I was going in life. Honestly, I was kind of scared. I was nervous. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I knew I wanted to do something related to sports. I knew that I couldn't play forever. Obviously, I didn't go away to go play college ball. So I found out quickly that this was for me. And for any coach that tells you they got into coaching after they learned they wanted to be a teacher, they're lying their ass off. They got into teaching because they wanted to coach, and that's where I came in. Now, the two really go hand in hand because as a coach, all we're doing is teaching. It's just a different subject. It's not math, science, history. It's a different subject. But Jackson alluded to like these rules that are in place, and I won't get into that specifics. That's for a different talk on an athletic director kind of day. But we're guidance counselors, we're parents, we're taxi cabs, we're everything that these kids need us to be, and that's what makes us great coaches. And I'm not saying I'm a great coach, but that's what makes coaches great. You aren't just a coach. It's not X's and O's. It doesn't end when the clock hits 0. You are involved and you're ingrained and dug in like a Alabama tick into their lives. And you understand that it's more than just a game. This is life. I'll never forget early on in one of my one of my years at West Orange, we had what was called dessert night, and that was to kick off the season every year. And my star linebacker isn't there, and I'm like, "Where's my star linebacker at?" He's at his girlfriend's house. The officers had to answer. The officers responded to a call from his girlfriend that he had kicked in the door. So obviously, mom calls me frantic. I go. Cops release him to me. It was a argument. Him and his girlfriend. Girlfriend broke his phone, so he got pissed and kicked the door. Got him to fess up to it. Told me he was gonna. I made sure that he was gonna fix that door. But that was my first experience as a coach. That it's just not just football. This is life, and you have to be willing to be more to these young men and women than just a coach. You have to be everything that they need that they're not getting at home.
Absolutely.
Doesn't mean that you want to be their parent, but at the same time, you know what? Parents are working 2-3 jobs to keep the lights on. They're not there to be able to be the parent. They're trying to make sure that those kids have food on the table, power on at the house so they can, do what they need to do, hot water. They can't always be everything that they need them to be. And that's where we kind of come in. So that's where I really kind of fell in love with the education because, to this day, I've got so many kids that I've coached over the years. And I'm sure David's the same way, that we've seen develop into, Chad here, develop into amazing young men and women who've went on to do great things and continue to do great things. And somewhere along the line, they could attribute that you made an impact on their lives. So, I know I'm a little long-winded, but that's really where how I got into it and why I got into it and the reason behind it.
Yeah, it's and you hit that nail on the head right there. I can name Bubba James, David Jackson, Fred White, Del Valente as men at Cypress Creek who gave a lack of better term, dumbass 17-year-old kid an opportunity to not shoot me aside, but like, hey, straighten your butt up. Took me a while.
Hey, so back then, Fred White was relevant back then.
I mean, I think he put the last brick in the school before they opened it.
Hey, was he still wearing his bathrobe with Nature Boy on it?
He was doing a lot of Nature Boy back then. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But no, like seriously, man. Like back in the day, man, I was not the best kid in the world. I did a lot of dumb things as a kid, as most kids do. But when most teachers would shoo you away, like I don't give a shit about you, Jax and White, Bubba James, everybody else, they were there to be like, hey, come on, let's go, get your head straight. Now it took me a while to get to where I was. I took a path that was different, just like Boudreaux did, but that helped us. And speaking of helping, Jackson, when you was, you've been at Cypress since, the beginning.
Yeah.
Compared to back then to now, same thing with you, Rum, being at West Orange and everywhere. What are the things that y'all see change between kids when I was a kid to the kids now? And social media can't be one of them.
Well, you guys back then, I mean, like legit would go through a freaking brick wall if we needed you to. If there was the issue, I can handle it with you guys right then and there. I mean, nowadays, these kids got so many questions, so many how comes, and they don't want to go. They don't even want to go 60%. You guys went 110%. There were some things that you guys didn't always do right or whatever, but that was stuff that could be handled. You know what I'm saying? If there was the issue, you're going to fight somebody, you would say something, beat, blah, blah, we get it fixed. Right now, there's too many shenanigans. I got to go through 5 different steps to find out what went wrong. That's nonsense. And then on top of that, too, I have to be very cautious of what I say and what I do because it might be misinterpreted. If it's misinterpreted something, I'm in trouble first.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a big part of it that's different. And a lot of it, too, right now, kids don't know how to go outside and play. They don't know how to sweat without thinking they have to quit, okay? If they're doing something not enough and you attempt to coach them, they think that you're putting them down and you're trying to bully them. No, that's not it. We're trying to give you encouragement. So those are a lot of hurdles that we have to climb, but I think that I've been long enough to navigate through that. I think the same thing with Mike, you know, but we have, some of us, we have our differences. I mean, Cypress Creek kids too, some of the kids, they're more or less want to be on a team, have all the team stuff. But when it comes to getting hit and getting back up and talking about it, they don't want to hear that part of it.
They want to be the pregame and the postgame player.
They want to wear the jersey. They want to be the jersey wearer. And you know what? At the end of the night, when you collect jerseys, it's the cleanest jersey. You could not wash it, and they would never know.
Yeah, but back then, back then when you were there, man, you guys were a whole different breed, man. We knew what we were getting, and you guys left everything on the field, in the classroom, and every place else. And if something was going down, we were able to fix it. Nowadays, there's too many other loopholes, and sometimes things seem impossible with some of the youth right now, you know. But there's hope. There's hope. It's just a different path than it was when you were in school.
You know, Jax, I go back to when I played, and obviously you played before me because you're in that era.
You're in that era.
Ancient, but at the same time, like, you understand. So I would have a coach grab my face mask. You know what? I'd have a coach slam their whistle on my helmet.
Never did that.
You know, I don't know if there's this documentary. It's called The Year of the Bull. I don't know if you've ever saw the Miami Northwestern documentary from when they won the championship. They actually beat Osceola, but it's called Year of the Bull. And the coach is literally in the shower and he's grabbing their face mask and he's cursing at them, not degrading them, but trying to get them fired up. And to me, that was what got me fired up. You know, when I first started coaching, I did crazy stuff. I used to break things in my pregame speeches. I set myself on fire one time.
Hey, Boudreaux, imagine being in that locker room.
Dude,
in Osceola County.
Let's go. I'm ready to go.
Look, brother, hey,
right now in Osceola County.
I couldn't find an accelerant. So, and mind you, I probably would have been in deep shit for this back in the day, but I couldn't find an accelerant. So what did I find? I found rubber cement. So I had it stuck to my hand. So when I lit it, it lit my hand on fire. And I seriously was scared shitless as I'm putting fire out on my hand. But the kids literally got up before I was even done talking and ran out the door, and we beat the shit out of a team. And I don't remember who the team was.
It would have catch on fire.
But, hey, they're like, look, hey, one of my coaches, my weightlifting coach, who was still working there at the time, he goes, Mike, you're going to have to light a car on fire and push it off the stadium to, like, you're running out of ways to fire the team up.
Exactly.
There's nowhere to go. You've plateaued. Like, you're setting yourself on fire. They can't get much better than that. And but those kinds of things today would be extremely frowned. I mean, they might have been frowned upon back then, but the way we hype kids up, kids react differently today too. Like, to criticism. If I criticize a kid, they tuck their tail in between their legs nowadays, and you've, like, scarred them for life. Now, back then,
are you criticizing or you're just correcting him? You're just correcting him.
It's the compliment sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, you know the compliment sandwich. Hey, something good. You suck. Something good. You know, so you stack it up. But you know what? I never criticized the kid and said, "Look, you're a piece of trash. You're garbage. You can't play." It was, you didn't hit the hole. What the hell's wrong with you? Why are you doing that? You tell a kid like that today, they might cry. I mean, and it's crazy to think that way.
Or they'll transfer to another school.
Or they're transferred to another school.
Yeah.
I truly think today's day and age, one of the biggest problems is NILs, transfer portal, the ability to go wherever you want to go. You know what? Coach so and so don't like me. You don't think that you think it's the coach right away. It's not the fact that you missed 50% of the summer workouts. It's not the fact that you didn't show up to 7-on-7. It's not the fact that you're late to practice every day. It's coach don't like me. Well, coach don't like you because you're undependable. You show no work ethic. So what you do is you transfer somewhere else where, you know what, you could walk in. Like, for example, if I transferred to a university high school, for example, if I played in today's day and age, man, I'd be on the wall of fame at university day one. Because, I mean, there's not a lot of talent there to work with. And it's not to be disrespectful, but I look back when I played, all my teammates were bigger than life, larger than life. We had kids going to college constantly. And we played where we came from. There was a sense of pride. When I went to West Orange, there was a sense of pride. I grew up in Ocoee. My dad would take me to West Orange games when I was playing Ocoee Bulldog Pop Warner. And he's like, this is where you're going to play high school ball. And it was awesome. There was no Ocoee High School back then. There was no Wekiva, Olympia. It was West Orange, Dr. Phillips, where Jax was, and Evans, and Apopka. That was kind of that quadrant right there. And you took pride with where you went to school, and kids don't have a sense of pride anymore because I could just up and leave. There's no loyalty to a school. There's no loyalty to a program or a coach or your teammates. It's who can promise me something, who's going to make me feel the best, who's going to give me the nicer jersey, the cooler locker room, the nicer looking helmet. Like, it's all about aesthetics and empty promises now because they are empty for the most part. You can't guarantee a kid a scholarship.
No, cannot.
You know, you could tell them if they work their butt off, you can do everything you can in your power to help them get one. But there's no guarantees in this game. So these kids are learning, you know, that instead of fighting for and making themselves tougher, fighting to build something, it's easier to just turn coat and walk away. Turn tail, walk away, tuck and go. And that's where the softness of today's day and age is. I mean, I look at LeBum James. I mean, to me, he is the ultimate wuss. I mean, watching him play, I don't care how big and slow and jacked up he is. I don't care how many times, you know, how many points he's got in his career. He's a wimp, man. I don't think in the 80s he could have played. I just don't. I mean, he couldn't do this flop and crack back then. Bill Laimbeer would have just freaking, like, drove his fist right through his face. And that would have been it. I mean, it's a different day and age. We're dealing with soft versus not soft. And it drives me nuts. And I think that's part of the reason why I can't coach. And my hat's off to David for continuing to do it. I just see the world that we're in right now. I'm like, Saban, I'm out. You know, Buckridge, I'm out. You know, I'm Rolson, I'm out. I'm like these guys that, man, hey, I'm too old school. This new way of thinking and crap is just not me.
Boudreaux, any follow-up questions?
No, you guys say that you do youth football and all that too. Do you see this a lot in youth football? Because where I'm at, like being a soccer coach, I see it a lot with all the different clubs and things that are out there where parents just start shopping their kid to which club's going to either promise them that thing or they're going to be able to play.
I seen a kid on Twitter transfer portal like 6U with 1 year of eligibility left. I'm sorry, I had to cut off.
Yeah,
there's
a group on
that's my question. You see it in the youth leagues too.
Yeah, there's a group in East Orlando, and no disrespect to anybody when I call them out by name. I just, you know, when I'm scrolling and I see it on Facebook and I go, are you kidding me? So there's a group called the Alpha Dogs, and they're a big youth football organization. They're doing great things. They've won a bunch of, like, I guess, Pop Warner Super Bowls or something like that. But I see kids where they post, like, the posters on their Twitters, and they're like, transferring to the Alpha Dogs, 8U. And I'm like, what? I'm like, we're talking about 8U football. What? And they're like, oh, we're getting all these, you know, like letters of declaration. Like I'm taking my talents to the Alpha Dogs or whatever team, the West Orlando Jags. Are you shitting me? Like not even high school. We're talking youth football.
The kids,
Now
man.
I understand though.
8 years old.
Yeah. Now I understand now when you go down to South Florida, and this is something that I've thought about too, and I'd love to talk to somebody about making a documentary. Because in South Florida, it's a big money deal. Like these Pop Warner games, guys gamble on these games. So obviously building teams and things like that it's a big deal. And you wonder where all this money comes from because these programs that start in the middle of a dirt poor nowhere, that like Bifflo Elementary, there ain't nothing there, but they've got brand new helmets on that you can't afford, Chad, at your high school. You got new shoulder pads, jerseys you can't afford. And I'm not knocking you, but I'm saying as a high school administrator, I'm like, I want those. How is this program backed by this much money? Where's that money coming from? Is it being filtered? And I know I'm going off on a tangent, and Jax is looking at me like I'm crazy. But hey, where's that money coming from, man? Is it coming from some shady stuff? Maybe. I don't know. But again, glitz and glamour are what pull these kids in. You can't tell me you're not intrigued and thinking about that. Go, damn, he's got a point there. Where are they getting all this money from? It ain't from mom and dad selling 10 candy bars, okay, at $1 a piece, okay? It ain't where it's coming from. So, yeah, Jax, you know what I'm talking about.
I know that's a whole other episode, though. That's a whole other.
Hey, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but I want you to know.
Yeah,
I've got my eye on that hole now.
Yeah,
so when it comes around, you can say Rum alluded to that a while ago.
Right. It's a whole other episode, man.
I want it documented. So this is it right here. So we're good.
In about an hour, this will be posted on all social media, so it'll be well documented.
Oh yeah, I start getting some hate mail about hey man, stop making fun of my group. I wasn't pointing at any group.
We finally might get some emails though, Boudreaux.
We
might finally get some emails.
Hey, I'll spice it up, baby. Spice it up. Stir the pot.
I thought the spice it up was 2 weeks ago when we did speak about the Bulls. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Right?
we got some feedback on that one. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad Springer with Chad Boudreaux, the greatest tag team partner ever, with the great Hall of Famers themselves of StripeLyfe, Rum Jax. We're going to take a real quick break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for hanging out with the Chads today. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Dang, Rum.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Hanging with the Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the great Chad Boudreaux, the greatest tag team partner ever, Mr. New Orleans, Mr. LSU himself over there. As you can see, all the amazing signed jerseys behind him. I still want that Alex Rodriguez baseball. Hey, we got Rum Jax from StripeLyfe here today. Rum seems to be taking a break real quick for us, and we got Coach David Jackson here with us. David Jackson, I've known since I was 14 years old. And there he is. The StripeLyfe himself is here, baby. That's what I'm talking about. As you can see, I'm all dressed up for the StripeLyfe myself.
Yeah, man, I'm back, baby. Here we go. We're back.
Hey, look, I even got my penalty flag ready to go. I'm challenging some shit. Hey, we appreciate you two gentlemen being here. You're staples within OCPS, you're staples within the Orlando area in Central Florida. But being, where you're at now over there at Old Pioneer Nation and Bear Crossing Drive, whatever it might be for Cypress Creek's new address or whatever. So, hey, let's get into this, some things about officiating here. That's why we brought you on. We want to talk about some officiating. And I know that a coach of mine, he wanted me to ask this question. And every referee is different. I know this. Every referee is different.
Let me turn it down. All right, go ahead.
It's about to get a little hot. It's about to get a little thick around the collar on this one. Where's that line at for unsportsmanlike? Where does Rum and where does Jack throw the line? Because some referees will.
Our line is different, so I'll let him go because my line is definitely different.
Well, look. I've been asked to coach. To officiate FHSAA. And I told Rum right now, I'm not prepared for it at all. because there are some coaches I'm not fond of at all. And my feelings are going to be involved regarding my officiating. So I'm not even ready for it. Now, when unsportsmanlike, depending on coaching. First of all, coaches need to coach and legit keep their mouth shut. Don't make it personal. Okay. Our kids do some unfortunately dumb things, but as a coach, you got to reinforce that. Officials got to enforce it with a warning or a flag, and it needs to keep being reiterated. I think when the announcements, they have to talk to the parents, because right now parents are just as bad as the kids, especially doing youth. Because right now I'm throwing flags on parents. Parents say something else, we're out of the game, I'm gonna penalize them. It's that crazy right now. Now regarding high school, I think that we need to have signage when they come in. We need to make an announcement before the game. We need to make announcements during breaks, because what we're forgetting is it's all about the kids. Now our kids have to continue to be coached. They're watching too much TV. Some of these kids are being encouraged on the sideline from parents, from other coaches to do inappropriate things. Now, the last thing that we do want to do is suspend a kid for weeks. We don't want to do that. But
I don't want you to either. I don't want to deal with the paperwork.
We don't want to do the AT. You don't want the AT6 form, Chad?
No, man.
It's crazy. What happens too? The language is terrible. The late hitting is terrible. And my thing about a coach, you know what your players do and don't do, 100%. And unfortunately, some things, some teams get away with stuff, whether the refs see it or not. But a sportsmanlike needs to go. It has to be enacted immediately. And I think the sooner the refs start throwing flags on it at the beginning of the season, it's going to stop. And that's what I think. And also too, even with the summer programs, especially high school 7-on-7, a coach pops off, we need to pop them right then and there, so they know that we're enforcing it in the summer and also during the fall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Rum?
Well, okay. First off, I approach obviously high school different than I do the youth. Youth programs, I tend to match energies. Okay. This was a talk I had with a gentleman a couple weeks ago when we were up in Michigan. I match the energy of the coaches. If you're positive and you're being great, I'm being great. We get along. Game moves smooth. Again, we're there for the kids. It's not about us as officials. One of my favorite lines to coaches is, there's no Hard Rock bet line on your game. I did not call and put, a parlay in on your game, Foundation Academy, and, anyone else. It's just a game. We're there to work. Okay. But when we get into the youth football league, the problem with coaching is there's no accountability. And that's because there's no punishment. Like if I eject a coach, they may get a game based on whatever league they work, but there's no fine.
No.
And you know as well as I do, when you get into high school, there's fines. And if you're a school employee, you got to worry about keeping your job. So
It's a bingo.
So when I work high school games, whether it be flag or tackle, it's a blessing and a curse that I know a lot of coaches and athletic directors. I mean, I was an athletic director. I've been in the county forever, so I know a lot of coaches. One of the coaches said it best. Andy Johnson goes, look, you can't change a call. Like if a call is made, no matter what the coach says, no matter how much complaining, griping, bitching he does to us, we're not going to go, you know what? We walked off 10. We're going to walk it back. Our mistake. We own our call, whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent. Do we make mistakes? Absolutely. Officials are afraid to admit that they're human. We are human. I always try to tell coaches this. I was a coach first, and I was probably rough on some officials in my years of coaching, especially when I was younger and all I did was scream, yell, piss and vinegar, chest bump, all that kind of crazy stuff. I was like the strength coach that was in the college and slamming heads with their helmet. Like I was that guy, man. So obviously,
That
if a ref,
explains a lot.
yeah. Hey, I was always the guy that they had to tell. They needed to get back coach just for me because I was always out to the numbers. Not bragging, but that's just when you get intense and you start going. Sometimes you just lose it. Not necessarily control, but you're tunnel vision. So when I became an official, I went and apologized to a couple officials that I knew I was difficult with. and said, man, I'm sorry. I had no clue. This is how much you can see, how much you can't see, how much you have to deal with these coaches. So I always tell coaches that they should spend a day in our shoes. Almost like how some schools have moms come in and tackle their kids, like, like a mom like camp.
Mhm.
Have a camp for coaches to come be refs for a day. Once you do, maybe your relationship with the officials will change. But as far as the coaches that we have to deal with on sportsmanlike, which you going back to your original question, I drop it right away. I had an incident. I want to say at an orange and black school. It's not Summer Park, but anyways, one of them schools right down the road, and the head coach is not necessarily a huge fan of mine, and that's okay. But he had a coach that I ran into. I was on his sideline, and I dropped the flag, and the coach starts screaming, and he's kind of not a very tall man. He looks and yells at a guy that's about as tall as Jackson. And we know Jackson isn't very tall. And I'm not cracking on, but Jackson isn't very tall. And he's like, starts screaming at the coach. Starts screaming at him. And I go, Coach, it wasn't even him, man. It was this guy. And I pointed at the guy that looked like, I don't know if you remember No Holds Barred with Zeus, the big Jack dude. I pointed at him. I go, it was that coach. And he looked and he goes, oh, my bad. And he walks away because he didn't even want to mess with him. But
he didn't want to mess with Debo.
No, he wanted to mess with Zeus. He wanted to mess with David Jackson, but not Zeus. So, but
hey, it's funny how people are like that.
Yeah, but and the thing is you have to drop that flag. Jackson's other school he was at, I had to drop it on one of his coaches, home of the Braves. I had to drop a flag on one of the coaches there. And I remember Kevin Deemer looked at me and goes, Mike, throw the flag. He goes, he deserves it. And I'm like, as the athletic director, I appreciate that. Now, most people don't know this. Kevin Deemer was one of my football coaches back in high school, too. So we go way back. But
shout out Kevin Deemer.
Kevin Deemer. Yep. Shout out Kevin Deemer. Boom Braves. Great guy. Anyways, you have to be in control. You have to take control. And again, sometimes the coaches will push the envelope because they know you. They'll try to first they butter you up before pregame. Hey, it's good to see you. I love you, man. How's everything? How's the kids? How's the wife? Love you. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And you have to, as an official, just turn it off. Like I glad hand them, but I glad hand both coaches from both sides if I know them. And you have to be in control on your sideline. You have to be in control on the field. If you're the umpire, you're the white hat, the back judge, you got to be in control because they will continue to push the boundaries as long as you let them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So most of the time, if you correct it with a flag or look at them and go, young man, if I hear that one more time, it's going to be 15 and your butt's going to be out. A lot of times that'll stop it. Sometimes just a simple eye-to-eye contact and putting the fear of God in them, let them know that they'll be done. And if they're done, it's going to be possibly 6 weeks.
Yes, sir, Mr. Official. I'm going to do it again.
Exactly. And that's it. But if you hesitate to drop the flag or hesitate to communicate what the problem is with the coach or a player, you've lost control already. Yeah. So from the opening whistle, heated rivalries. I've been in a few of those as well. Look, there's going to be excessive contact. The goal is to just, hey, look, I'm going to let my kids play football when I'm officiating because I played football. But I know what football doesn't look like too. So when to step in and tell them that's enough.
Absolutely.
So I always tell people, playing the game also helps as an official. Not everyone played football that officiates football. It's the knowledge. Like book smarts is one thing. It's great. But knowing the game, knowing what a player is thinking, what they're going through as a player, know how dirty it is on the line because it is dirty. When a kid goes, he's holding me, I tell him, your job is to get off the block, man. I said, get off the block. I'm not over there going, oh, my God, okay, I'm going to watch for it. Dude, I played D-line. Guess what, buddy? I was held all the damn time. I've had sand thrown in my face. I've had all kinds of crazy stuff. Get off the block, play football. Like, it's a tough sport, man. You got to learn how to get up and get on. If you can't handle that, there's golf, tennis, bowling,
Chess.
Those
water
leisure
polo.
activities.
Chess.
Well, water polo only for about another year, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shot
Maybe
put.
maybe
Discus.
pickleball.
Ping pong's
Pickleball
Olympic
might be.
sport.
Hey,
Yeah.
I wish
Hey, there's
pickleball would come
esport.
out.
Hey, we have esports now. You could play some Super Smash Brothers. I mean,
Madden.
go on, baby. But football's not for everybody.
Competitive
So-
food eating.
But I think it is a great outlet to get that anger, get that stress, get that frustration out of you. I think it builds a lot of character. To be able to handle high stress situations, you learn at a young age. How to basically deal with a boss. Your coach is your boss. You learn at a young age how to deal with a belligerent, pain in the ass boss. So I attest that me not having real big problems with any boss I've ever worked for, to being a player, I'm like, you know what? You just learn how to take orders like a soldier. You just know how to do your job. So lots of life lessons are in football. And I know, again, I go off because I like to get going, man. I love talking. And
That's why we're
you'll
here,
never
man.
you'll never run out of B-roll with me, baby. So
Hey, look, Rum, he will talk to the paint dries.
that's
in a-
right, damn it,
in a-
all day.
In a humid locker room at the corner of Pleasant Hill Boulevard in Poinciana.
There we go. Hey, but yeah. So dropping the flag is the ultimate like equalizer. Drop the flag early, and if you got to do it often, if you have to do it often, there's deeper underlying issues. But no, in FHSAA, when you drop that, the fear of having to pay a fine, I know, has shut me up. The fear of having to be in my principal's office or my AD's office has shut me up. So I think that we as officials need to do it probably more. So
and the county you work in is different than the county that Boudreaux and I work in, because our county's policy states if we get the fine, it comes out of our own pocket,
yes,
not internal accounts.
yes. Well, I'm telling you, when I was an AD, I said if my coach gets one, you're paying. I don't know how we're going to make it happen, but when you go and the bookkeeper and you see that there's a deduction, and I'll be like, hey, I don't know what happened. I'll be like, but your fine's paid. Congratulations. So,
Boudreaux, follow-up questions?
Yeah. So you were talking about like you make bad calls. Is there like one call that it could be a good or a bad call that you will never forget that you've made in a game?
I don't want to sound full of myself. I don't
Go ahead.
remember
On
a
this show, you
particular.
can.
I don't want to. I can't say a particular one. I will say there was a regrettable situation, and it was in a youth football game. And Jax, he'll pick up on this quickly. So I was white hatting a football game. Game's almost over. Less than 2 minutes, maybe less than a minute left in the game. It's Melbourne. Where am I going, Jax?
Oh my gosh, were we at Lyman?
Yep, we're at Lyman. So Melbourne's winning. Quarterback rolls out. I turn with the quarterback as I'm making sure I'm watching the play as the white hat. Behind me, now we're working 3-man mechanics, which is awful for tackle football. 11 on 11, we're working with 3 officials, which is awful. So apparently there's a hold being happening on the defensive end from Melbourne. And the kid goes nuts. And I look at him.
Melbourne's winning by 2 touchdowns already too. They're up by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the game's pretty much over. And I look at the kid and I go, son, I said, the scoreboard, man. Just tell the kid, scoreboard, hey, calm down. You'll be all right. Move on to the next play. And I kind of just shrugged him off and I let him go. Next play happens. Same thing. Kid's rushing off the edge. Quarterback rolls right. I'm following the quarterback. Apparently the kid's being held and he goes ballistic. He apparently took off his helmet and swung it at me. Yeah. I didn't see that. Jax was on the sideline. Now Jax decides to obviously start to come over. And then when I turn around, he threw his helmet at me. Now, imagine the shock on your face. I got a 14-year-old kid throwing his helmet at me, and the team's winning. Like, you don't normally get that kind of behavior from a team that's winning big.
Nope.
Throws his helmet, so I throw my flag. The kid then charges at me and punches me in the face. Yeah, punches me in the face. So I decide to go full-on Brock Lesnar, and I scoop slammed his ass right then and there because the guy was still throwing punches, and I literally heard the life leave his body as he gasped for air. Now, I wasn't proud that I slammed the kid, but thinking back on it now, and I didn't press charges, I could have. I tried to protect the shield in a sense. For our league, I didn't want to be on Channel 9. I didn't bleed. I wasn't hurt. Jax comes over and he's like jumping on me because he was worried the dad was going to come on. It was touching. It was kind of like the bodyguard, you know.
It was like Yoda jumping on Chewbacca's back.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That kind of.
Sorry,
and
John, I had to.
And then you know, thinking back on it, I always wonder what I could have did differently to not let it escalate to that point. Could it have been avoided? And I always wonder what could I have done differently? Could I have backed up? Could I have worked back closer to the sideline and let that get in front of me so I could see the play from a different angle? And in all actuality, I could have, but that wasn't where my positioning was. But I regret that it got to that point. You know, the kid obviously was very unstable. And I'm like, well, did I address when he was concerned about being held? Did I play it off like, buddy, who cares? You're about to win the ball game. Was that wrong of me to do it that way? Should I have been more, you know, political about it and, you know, been like, okay, son, well, you know, we'll watch it. You know, I didn't obviously have the PC answer for him. But as a defensive lineman, again, I always put myself in the defensive lineman's player's shoes. And I'm like, dude, you got the ball game won. There's nothing to worry about. Like we're under 2 minutes. Jax does this all the time too when we're talking. He'll raise his hand because he's got something to say.
Yeah, because you talk a lot. You talk a lot. I mean,
you go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, David Jackson, go ahead.
The situation at hand, Rummel did everything he's supposed to do. He's addressing the home side, making the call. As that's happening, and Rummel can't stop a kid from another kid holding him because the kid was that good. The kid had to be held, but the kid was already losing his mind. The kid made his mind up what he's going to do to him. I'm seeing the whole thing happen. I'm seeing the kid take his helmet off, getting ready to crush Rummel's skull clean in. Rummel turns, blocks it, then he pins him to the ground. As this is going on, I'm running 10 yards to Rummel because I'm like, the sideline's going to come jump on Rummel for attacking this kid, and it was not an attack. Rummel was protecting himself. I get over top Rum just to protect the situation. Nobody came over. And guess what? The kid just came back from a 4-week suspension from doing the same damn thing. The same thing. Now, the officers investigate Rum like Rum was the cause of the problem. The dad was going to try to press charges on him, and Rum was trying to protect himself. Now, I don't know what else could have been done in the situation unless we had 6 officials out there. But he did everything appropriate, and this was just in middle school. I guess the kid was going to high school or whatever. But
yeah, he was 14.
To me, the whole thing was horrific.
Yeah.
It was awful. It was something that was so spontaneous because he was in the middle of making a call while this attack was happening. And I don't know how else you addressed it except for keeping constant eyes on your whereabouts. Mm-hmm. Now, one of my concerns with officiating is when I'm on the sideline, I have my face to the field. I don't know what's going on behind me, you know. And there might be some things that might be allowed. Am I concerned and cautious? Of course, but there are a lot of things I can't stop. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of the times that we're in. I'm not trying to have nobody pity me or anything like that, but there's a lot of things that go on that got to be addressed, and people get caught up in their feelings. And here's the thing. The kid just came back off of 4 weeks. Those coaches should have been more conscious of this kid's mental state of mind.
Absolutely.
Legit. Yep. Now going back to my kids, I pretty much know what my kids are going to do and not going to do. And there's not a lot of times my kids get crazy out of character. But you have to know your team. You do. Like for example, a lot of coaches refer, I got like 5 dogs on my team. Okay? You got to train a damn dog, don't you? If you have a dog, right? You got to tell your dog to sit, stop, eat, attack. It's the same thing with these young men. We got to know what their capabilities are and address it. And be careful with it. Because that could have been a lot uglier than what it was. Could have been a lot uglier. Thank you, Ron.
So before I got the job down here at the old corner of Pleasant Hill and Poinciana, they was in the news right before I got here. If y'all remember the baseball umpire, they got punched dead square in the face, messed them up a little bit by a parent, and I wasn't privy to that during my interview. And they asked me during the interview, they said, "How would you address this situation with a parent approaching a referee?" And I was like, well, it's real simple. I always meet every referee before they come into our facilities, especially when it comes to 11-man football. You can call it the referees that's been there. We have the same bunch usually, with the exception of one that was at Celebration a couple of years ago. We're not going to get into that one here, Boudreaux. But I always tell them.
He's not allowed back in my school either, so we're good there.
So I tell all officials, before I was an AD, I was a Marine. I don't tolerate disrespect, insubordination, or unsportsmanlike conduct. When you come on my field, you're in charge of my field. I'm in charge of my players, my spectators, and to make sure you want to come back here. If you feel a player, a coach, or even a spectator cross that line, you plant that flag, you stand on it, you do whatever, you point, I toss. I already got their money, and we don't give refunds. So here's your hot dog. Here's your soda. Chill in the AC. When you come on the field's yours. You'll be escorted on and off my field at all times. And every referee that comes out, the majority of them, some like the volleyball guys, they all have my number. So they'll call me and say, hey, we're here. I'm like, all right, cool, come on in. But football officials, like you guys, I meet y'all in the parking lot, or I have y'all parked down by my concession stand, and then y'all come in that way. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a PSA. Did you know if you put your hands on an FSHAA official, it is a felony?
Yes,
felony.
Class 2 felony. I don't know what the 1, the 2, and the 3, but the 2 was right in the middle, so I got a bad feeling you're not going to be able to vote. So here's the deal. Don't get in touch a referee. Don't put your hands on a referee. It's not worth it, ladies and gentlemen. That's my PSA for the day. I tell referees, if you came to Liberty High School before August 2023, forget every fucking thing you dealt with there, because I'm a different type of person. And look, I can do an AT6 with the best of them. I can suspend a kid with the best of them and a coach. I have no pity. You screw up, that's your fault. But don't touch the refs. I want refs to come back. I want refs to want to enjoy their job because they're humans. I tell my coaches, Rum, you was at one of my games last year, over there at Old Pioneer Nation.
Yep.
And the damn sideline is up against the damn bleachers. I got a coach pandering to the crowd. The referees hate us. These fuckers don't know you. Shut up. Coach the game.
Yep.
Well,
not to cut you off, Chad. Well, first, Oak Ridge Pioneer Country. I got a scar right here. I was on the sideline, and I took a helmet to the face because I couldn't back up. All my players were standing behind me, and they let me take the brunt of the force.
Attaboy.
But I coached the rest of the game before I left, and then after the game, I went and got stitches, but I still finished the damn game.
That's truly taking one for the team.
Yes. 2, I hate when I hear the coaches hate us or the refs hate us.
Yes.
The refs this. I hate it because it couldn't be further from the truth. Mm-hmm. I don't know you. I don't. Now, I will say this. If I get the negative energy, I'm going to call the game exactly how it needs to be called. However, I'm not going to be overly nice, overly polite, pleasant to deal with. I'm going to be professional, and that's it.
Right.
You have a question, I will answer it as direct as I need to, and then I'm going to move on. You want to know how much time is left? I'll give you time, and I'll move on. I'm not going to sit there and discuss anything with you because this is something that Jackson and I deal with at the youth level. We're teaching our kids as coaches, the refs robbed us. The refs did this. The refs hate us. We're now teaching these kids that it's okay to blame someone else for your failures. I didn't know I caused you to drop the 30-yard touchdown pass that was right in your breadbasket and you dropped. I'm not aware that I fumbled the ball 3 times.
Nope.
Inside my own 20. That's on you. How is it my fault that I called a holding that might have been at a pivotal, because it was a hold? But we won't ever put the spotlight on the mistakes of ourselves. We want to blame others for our misfortunes and our shortcomings. And that as an official drives me nuts, because as a coach, there were maybe in 20 years, I could say maybe 1, maybe 2 times I blamed an official for something, but never for the loss of a game. Because at the end of the day, the game is on me and my kids' shoulders. And you know what? I always told coach, as a coach, told the kids, we can't leave a game in the hands of an official.
Nope.
If you do your job and you do it well and you do it the 60 minutes, it don't matter what the ref calls, because we have already done our job. We're going to walk away victorious. So those things as officials drive us up a wall. I know it kills Jax, because, it'll be the same guys that'll tell you the week before that you're great.
Yep.
And then it's the next week, well, you're racist, or you don't like us, or you hate us. I was in Houston.
The referees hate our school. By God, they send the worst referees here every damn week. They hate us.
I'll let you in on a secret with that. But we're in Houston 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. They do hate driving there.
We were in Houston 2 weeks ago. Or not even 2 weeks ago. What, 2 weeks ago, Jax, now? Already? Last week.
Yeah, last week.
I'm on the field now. We're doing youth football. I'm on the field. I'm the white guy. I have a black gentleman officiating with me as well. And I have a Hispanic. So I've got the Neapolitan of officials. I got told that we were racist.
We're getting canceled.
I get told we're racist. And I go, which of us are racist? And he goes, the whole crew. I go, I got a Hispanic, I got a black man, and I got a white man. How are we racist? I don't get it. So, I mean, am I wrong?
It's because you're not from there.
Normally, I mean, I get that. If you're dealing with an all-white crew, you might get that from somewhere. Or if you're dealing with an all-black crew and you're at a prep school, they might jump to that conclusion. But when you've got every color of the human rainbow covered, you know damn well, like you can't. That's the one thing you can't blame.
Right.
We can't blame the racist when Hispanic, black, and white. I mean, could say we were like, gender, we were chauvinists or something because it was girls, but that would have been better than the whole race thing. But I'm sorry if I get you guys canceled early on. At least we made it to episode 24?
24, baby. We made it 24 episodes.
But now I'll tell you though, Chad, you made a comment about refs hate going places. So we get assigned by an assigner. It is true that I believe veteran officials, I don't want to say better officials, but veteran officials get sent to higher priority games. That doesn't mean that, little school A and little school B over here aren't a priority. It just means that if there is a district rival game up here, we might send the best of our best to that game, because that's a top-notch game. Yeah. Well, just think about it. If I'm a recruiting coordinator from a college, I'm not going to watch Bithlow High School versus Joe Blow, high school over here. I'm going to go watch West Orange Apopka or, Boone Edgewater. Yeah. Dr. Phillips, whoever the hell's Dr. Phillips' big rival right now.
And Jones and whoever they bring in from out of town.
Yeah, Jones, Evans, Jones or whoever, those are big time games. So you want your big time officials on those games. Now,
hey, look, I'm cool because last year at my kickoff classic, I don't remember the official's name, but it's the one whose daughter got into officiating, and she was the training official at our game. I was okay with that. I didn't care. She's out there with a little notepad taking notes while she's refereeing. I was like, whatever. And everybody's like, she's not paying attention. I was like, she's not supposed to right now. I mean, deal with it. Like, I don't care. As long as we got 6 referees out there and somebody running the clock, I'm fine. I don't care. So
Yeah, and this is too. We've talked about it. I'm kind of on the education committee for officials for our organization, and the goal is to train. Well, first off, people don't want to do this job.
no,
The pay's okay, but it's not life changing. So people aren't beating down the door. Just like right now, there's not people beating down the door to be athletic directors, because you know what? It's almost a thankless job. And the money's okay, but it doesn't move the needle that much.
No.
So, we're trying to figure out how do we get guys involved in officiating and train them up the right way, and their first game not be a varsity juggernaut type game, where they're going to crap their pants. We want to try to work on getting these guys trained up and give them some snaps and experience before they actually have to take the field on a varsity game. When I first got into officiating, my first game, which is crazy, my first game officiating was with Bubba James. We both were officials at the time, and Tim Krim was my white hat, and we're at the Ocoee Bulldogs field, and we were doing some tiny JV game. And that's how I started. I wasn't thrust into a varsity game because we had enough officials back then. Now we've got so many schools, we cover so many counties, and we don't have the officials we used to have. We've got guys aging out. Our average age in our association right now is, I want to say, like 42, 43 years old. Which is kind of old when you think about it. I'm not, again, we have some 60-year-old, 50, 60-year-old guys that still haul ass down the field. But, that's not necessarily young. Considering you could be a high school official 18, 19, 20 years old. So what I'm trying to develop, and I thought I had this at university before the lid blew off of where I was this year. I wanted to put an officiating class together. I believe Olympia has one. There's a couple other schools that have an officiating class. And what I was going to do is take seniors and even maybe some juniors, select juniors, and train them, have them go through a class and almost learn like the VOTEC credit you get, like the IT certifications, almost like those things, get them certified to be an official so they can go out and make some money. What kid's going to turn down $120, $130 or on a weekend make $200, $300 cash? You can't just do that. Like, where else are you going to go out and do that? McDonald's, you ain't going to get that flipping burgers.
Hey, you might get it as a manager at the QT though. They make pretty damn good
money. But and you're right. I mean, but the goal was to develop some youth, because Jackson and I can't do it till we're well, I mean, he's already on AARP, but we can't do it forever.
I'll be there long. I'll be there for a while.
What's funny is Jackson's the oldest one, and he probably is in better shape than all three of us.
Hey,
I'll put in my word.
No, hey, Chad, don't let that fool you. Hey, don't let him fool you. I've beat him in a foot race, and I've already challenged him to one. So we will have a foot race, StripeLyfe, 40-yard dash.
Y'all know better than that.
Jackson versus Rummel.
Y'all know better than that.
For the belt, baby. And I'm telling you, I've already put it on once.
The odds are at like 350 to 1 you winning.
I'm just saying. Hey,
call my bookie right now, baby. Call my bookie. Call my bookie.
Hey, wait, I got the flag. I'm throwing the flag on that one.
Yeah, Jackson, admit I beat you downfield. Just admit it.
I was effed up. My knees jacked up this gas when you get me. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Had an issue with my knees and my hip. Yeah, you got me. You got me. That one time.
On Chad, hey, the Chad's podcast. I've the challenge is now the spear is thrown into the ground. Okay, it's over. Rum gonna be the champ. 40-yard dash, StripeLyfe 40-yard dash.
Hey,
I'm no Rich Eisen.
How many? Oh, he done lost it. His phone done died.
I'll give him a 10-yard head start.
I was gonna ask how much head start is he gonna get?
Yeah.
Boudreaux, final question before we get into the fun part.
Yeah, so what's your best advice for yeah, we got you.
Okay. I had a phone call come in. Sorry, but hey, I wasn't trying to bail on the challenges. The line in the sand is drawn.
We went to the next segment. I'm gonna give you a 10-yard head start for 40 yards.
Rocky beats Apollo. It's it.
Oh my God.
Rocky 3 down the beach on the sand.
Stay on task. Stay on task. Damn.
He's giving you a
Yeah,
too
there
young
is
head
one more
start.
question for you guys.
Question.
What's your best advice for young coaches or officials?
Well, I would
Age
tell
before
these,
beauty.
young guys, you better really know what you're really coming in for and what you want to do. If you're going to be an official, you better have a thick skin because you're going to get stuff from everybody, everywhere. Unfortunately, people are going to say it's your fault. You just got to know how to handle it. But it's not. And the thing about coaching too, man, it's not a lot of pay for new coaches coming in. You know, it's not. A lot of coaches right now too, they're doing like side training, which I think is fantastic. Ourselves, you know, we're trying to do a whole other thing with football regarding doing StripeLyfe, this, that, and the other. But the coaches coming in and officials coming in, officials especially, you better have a thick skin, okay? Coaching wise, you better be prepared for a lot of things that aren't your fault. You know, there's a lot of times you can't make a kid go faster if he's not fast. You can't make a kid have a courage if you don't have courage. It takes time. You got to build that stuff up. All right, and it's not the money's not there for it either. I mean, if you coach over a number of years, you'll start to get an increase in pay. All right, but if you're a trainer and you coach, that might be a little bit better. But you're gonna have some uphill battles here and there. But I will tell them, if your heart's in it, you know, persevere through the tough times. There's going to be some. Yep.
Rum?
As an official, I would say first off, you got he's like Jack said, you got to have thick skin. You can't let emotion be your driving force on the field. You have to have some kind of filter. You got to be able to hit the toggle switch. Because again, by nature as a coach, I'm an emotional coach.
Oh yeah.
I have tons of energy and I like to give it and be excited. You know, I'll as an official, I'll catch myself. I'll be like, man, that was a damn good play. There was a game, kid ran a reverse, and it was a girls team from Mexico. They ran a reverse on a throw off, and it was the best reverse. Chad, I shit you not, probably the best reverse I've ever seen, and for flag at least. So the game's over and they lost, and of course, right away the coach blames us. I go, look, sir. I said, I'm coming over here to tell you that your girls played amazingly well. You came all the way from Mexico. Your girls fought to the bitter end, and you ran one of the best plays I think I've ever seen in football, flag football. I said, seriously. I said, I've been doing this a while. It was so smooth. I didn't even see it. It was how clean it was. And you know, he finally stopped and he's like, thank you. And I go, Coach, good luck to you. You know, because you're going to get that coach that's going to blame you instantly. That's what they're going to do. Losing team's always going to blame you. The winning team's always going to want to come over and say you called a great game. And the funny thing about it is you may have called a great game, but you might have missed something. You know, and then you can have that team, you know, play back to back, and then the next game tell you that you're the worst official ever. So you have to be able to just shrug it off and whatever coaches say, take with a grain of salt. Because, again, football is an emotional game. It's played with emotion. Coaches often show a ton of emotion as well. So that's why a lot of times with coaches, I'm slow to react. Because if I reacted the way I would have reacted as a coach, I probably would be wearing a different kind of stripe. And the back of my shirt would probably say DOC on it or something like that.
I thought they were
but-
solid now.
No, it's solid. Yeah, maybe that'd be in a nice bright orange jumpsuit.
Solid.
Because of where you live, man.
But so you really just have to be patient. And then my other advice to an official would be jump in, find organizations to continue your craft. That's the beauty part about officiating. We could work all year. You know, we're very fortunate that we have a youth tackle league that has a spring league. CFYFL has spring tackle football, which Pop Warner does not. And then we have the fall. And then all the stuff that we do with flag football. And I don't want to shout out a bunch of names, but SHS and Neffel up in the Northeast Mass area, Drew and Jack Atten, they brought us in to officiate. I was very fortunate enough to work in the big house a couple weeks ago. literally on the field at the big house. Most amazing event I've ever been a part of. They do a great job, and they bring officials in. They also host flag football worlds at Disney. We're fortunate enough to work for BNA, which is a local organization. DK Taylor, who's also big with U.S. football, USA football, who's going to be involved with the Olympics. He does a great job with his organization, based out of Winter Garden.
Palm 211. Yep.
He's been doing tournaments for over a year. He's phenomenal. Coaches, kids, officials, we all love him. He takes care of us. And there's just so many other opportunities. We're getting ready to go do We Run the World this coming weekend in Philadelphia. Jax has done it before. I have not. I'm looking forward to it. That's I've got some family up there, but this is another organization that a lot of people speak very highly of. There's work out, but basically what I'm getting at is there's work to be found and had for everyone. And the only way to get better at what you're doing is find as many of these tournaments, games that you could jump in on and learn from veteran officials. Jackson and I, even at our age, we still have officials that are even younger than us that we learn from, because we all have different backgrounds. We have a distinct tackle background. So when we got into flag, it was new to us. So we had to learn from somebody that, I'm basically his elder, but I'm learning from these guys. But there's nothing wrong with that. I think being able to be open and learn from these individuals, men, women. One woman, for example, Desiree Abrams, she's going to be an Olympic official in flag football. She's phenomenal. She's a wealth of knowledge, and I catch myself asking questions anytime I can when I'm with her or around her, because she's regarded as one of the best of the best. So why not take advantage of that? So Jackson and I are fortunate that we work with Flag Football Official of the Year, Kevin Bowersox.
I was just about to ask you, when are we going to mention the Hall of Famer, the Official of the Year, Mr. Bowersox? Shout out Kevin Bowersox.
Kevin Bowersox, as nuts as he drives us from time to time, he is a very very good official, especially when it comes to flag. He's very thorough. And what's funny is he and I went to UCF around the same time, took a lot of the same classes. Where we veered off, I got into coaching. He went right into officiating, so he's been doing it a little bit longer than I have. But I always tell him we're cut from the same cloth, But it's guys like that. We sit down and we'll talk and we'll go over plays that we've seen and ask each other questions. What do you think? What do you have there? And sometimes we'll agree to disagree, but we always challenge each other, basically, is what I'm getting at. So as a young official, soak as much knowledge in as you can, work as much as you can. Don't just think that some old head is just being an old head. Like, use them as a Yoda, take all the wealth of knowledge that they can provide, because it can make you a well-rounded official. Where I'm deficient as an official, I find somebody that's better at it and have them help me to become better. And that's the best advice I could give a young upcoming official. As a coach, I'd have to say, look, man, hey, you can't do it like I did. And I don't mean like in a cocky way. You can't do some of the same things, like light yourself on fire like I did. So find your niche, love on these kids as much as you can. Be there for them, mentor them, mold them, because at the end of the game, it's a game.
Yep.
We have to go home to whatever we have at home. Whatever problems we have are still going to be there when the game's over. So help them maneuver through life. This might be their escape, but still, just be that kid, or be that coach that at the end of the day that someone could say thank you for down the road. The greatest compliment I ever got as a coach was, and then I'll wrap mine up, but the greatest compliment I ever got as a coach, I'm at graduation one year, and I'm in my robe at West Orange, watching my seniors walk across. And one of my seniors happened to be like the valedictorian. Now, I don't know how they do it in Osceola County, but in Orange County, you got 87 kids that need to speak. Valedictorian, salutatorian, student council president, and they all got long-winded ass speeches. My kid gets up there, and they're all thinking like they're chemistry teachers, they're calculus teachers, all the super what you would normally as an athlete refer to as nerdy teachers. Not the jock teachers. No one thinks they're PE teacher. Because those are all those kids are in the super advanced classes. My Latin teacher. Okay, cool. That's awesome. So kid gets up there and he starts speaking and he thanked his football coach. He goes, I want to thank Coach Rummel for all the guidance he provided, all the wisdom, making me a better young man. And blew me away because I'm so used to hearing all the fancy doctor teachers, doctor so-and-so, doctor this, doctor that, not young football coach Mike Rummel. So that was the greatest compliment I think I ever got from one of my players is being thanked during a valedictorian speech of graduation. And it's moments like that we soak in as coaches. They're few and far between, but they keep us going and they sustain us. And that's what you got to do as a young coach. Not necessarily look for gratitude, but be the difference maker in these young men and women's lives, because they might not have them at home, and it might not be something that they're used to getting. So when you do that, man, and you change a life, there's nothing better, man. It's up there with creating life, to be honest with you. To be a father figure to someone when you have your own kids at home. I always tell people I'm a father to hundreds of people, and they look at you like you're, what have you been doing? No, theoretically, metaphorically, I'm a father to hundreds, but that's really it, guys. And I love what I do, and they always say if you love what you do, you never really work a day in your life. And some days are harder than others, but Jax and I working together, doing this StripeLyfe stuff, traveling together, refereeing. It's been really a blessing. And then painting the fields, I've really been blessed with several opportunities. And I tell people all the time, some people steal it, some people inherit it. I've got no problem working for it. And I've been given the opportunity to provide for me and mine through hard work. And yeah, I may never win the lottery or inherit millions of dollars, but I will work my butt off for mine, and I have no problem doing it. And I think it makes it even more enjoyable, more rewarding to put in the hard work. And like I said, I'm blessed to do it with one of my best friends, David Jackson. So.
That's probably the nicest thing you ever said about him on camera.
I swear.
Yeah. Can we delete that?
Yeah.
Can we delete that? Is there an edit button?
Dang.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad Springer, joined as
President
always by Chad
Rum.
Boudreaux. This is Hanging with the Chads. Our amazing guest today is Mike Rummel, David Jackson from StripeLyfe Referee and Co. And before we get out of here, we're always going to end it the same way. I'm going to ask y'all one rapid fire question real quick off the top of your dome. Last question I'm going to ask you rapid fire real quick. Best place you ever refereed at?
Jax, go first.
Oh, Timber Creek back in 97 to 2004. Timber Creek, yeah. Pop Warner, yes sir. Yes sir, that was the best. Yes sir.
High school, I gotta say,
anywhere you ref.
High school, West Orange, because that was home for me. So not that I was biased, but West Orange. Collegiately, the Big House, man. That was the coolest freaking thing I've ever seen, man. Just amazing.
Nice.
All right. Hey, Jax, Rum, we appreciate y'all being here. We appreciate being on the show. Hopefully you had as much fun as we did.
Absolutely. I hate that we waited this long.
That's how schedules happen when you're traveling every week to some college and refereeing, and we're stuck here in Central Florida being ADs. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest tag team partner ever, Chad Boudreaux, and our amazing guest, Rum and Jax of StripeLyfe. Boudreaux, how the hell are we going to end this show?
Hey, be better.
Hey, be better, ladies and gentlemen. If you get 1% better today, you'll be better tomorrow. Thank you for everything you do. Jax, Rum, thank y'all for everything. We out, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Stay
guys.
out, man.